Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from Chris Voss Gaming Podcast. How you guys doing? And I'm joined today as a co-host today. Hopefully, we're launching this into a really cool podcast with Jeff. Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Chris. How about you?
Awesome sauce. So before we start the show, be sure to follow us on chrisvossgaming.com. You can follow the podcast there. Of course, you can find on iTunes, Google Play, all those different places. Jeff, where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on YouTube at Jeff Slays, 2 A's in the Slays and a Z at the end, and also on Instagram, Jeff Slays as well. But yeah, that's about it. Also Twitter. I don't really do much on Twitter though, so I mean, you can go follow me there. But
you can follow him on Twitter, Jeff Slays. So
I'm a slaying monster, man.
You're a slaying monster in Destiny 2. So anyway, guys, welcome to the podcast. Hopefully we'll do more of these episodes as time goes by, but we're going to be talking about the state of the game on Destiny 2, what's going on. It is, let's see, what's the date today? It's January 26, 2020. And one of the topics we want to talk about today is the state of the game for Destiny 2 Shadowkeep and cheating, right, Jeff?
Yep, cheating. Gotta love it.
We've seen a lot of cheating going on lately. There's been a program people have been using. I hate to mention this because it just encourages people to go find it and use it, but it's a thing called Net Limiter off of netlimiter.com, and it people have been using, especially on PC, and we've been seeing a lot of it in the raid. We've been seeing a lot of it in the Crucible gaming, especially in Banana and in the survival modes where it's competitive. And it's gotten pretty out of hand, wouldn't you say?
I would very agree. Not only has it gotten out of hand, but it's gotten to the point where you go into even a casual game of regular quick play or Crucible, and you can just tell that right off the bat someone's using it just by walking around corners, and you're getting instantly sniped right in the face, and it's just ruining the game, honestly.
Yeah, I think one of the earliest renditions that people started seeing, I think you sent me a video on it, I think it was a month or two ago, and this guy was literally teleporting from his spawn in competitive to the other people's spawn and killing them in their own spawn after
So he had some sort of way to track down their character location in game.
Wow.
And he would teleport to them and instantly kill them. And he was not even, you can even kill him.
Yeah,
he was invincible.
Yeah. And most times with these cheating things, they can't. And it's very different with this Net Limiter because they can use the program just to slow down the internet speed to a point where it breaks the game and confuses the game. I've been seeing a lot of Garden Salvation people come in and be like, hey, you guys mind if we use the cheese? And you're like, what's the cheese? And they're like, well, it's
cheat.
It's the Net Limiter. And everyone's like, that's a cheat. And a lot of people throw the guy out or yell at him or tell him to knock it off. I've had people leave a raid over it because the guy wants to use Net Limiter. There's a lot of people that want to use the game. Have you come across cheaters? And I know you play competitive a lot.
I actually have. This happened a few days ago, or probably now. I would say probably 2 weeks ago, and I was just in the mood to go and to play some regular survival freelance because I just got bored that day, and I went in and queued up. I launched the game, whatever. I was just having a normal day of Crucible as usual, and I launched the game, and I'm running up towards the first corner, engaging the enemy team, and right off the bat, this guy snipes me right in the face, and I'm like, okay, he must be good at sniping. So respawn. Right as I respawn, I noticed he sniped not only me, but me and my two teammates.
Wow.
And so I was
was
like,
he
okay.
near you? Were you in?
No. He was on the other side of the map. This was on the map Javelin, and so there's a big straightaway from when you walk up to the heavy, and the other side where the enemy team spawns, and there's a big path where you can see them face to face, but it's just far away, and he just sniped us. And so I was like, all right, so either this guy's a really good sniper, I didn't really think much of it because he was there, and I wasn't really thinking about he could be cheating at the time. But when I spawned up, I ran back over there, and I literally jumped up above a doorway, and he sniped me.
Wow.
I was like, okay, there's no way he hit that shot without being some sort of cheat.
Yeah.
That just blew me away.
Yeah.
Honestly, my head was not even in the realm of view.
And then you sent me some other videos that we saw where people were The guy was literally shooting people through walls. He was playing, I think, another streamer on Twitch or on YouTube,
Yep.
and he was literally wiping the team, and they couldn't kill him. Like even when he appeared, like around them, and they would shoot at him, he was like invincible.
He
You could
was.
kill him.
He would just keep respawning. I don't know how that's even
Yeah,
possible, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, if you break the game, I mean, if you slow it down, what's interesting is it used to be the old way. It was doing these lag switches where you'd interrupt or stop your internet speed for Crota and D1. That was a popular thing. You'd literally
Yeah.
unplug your
You should unplug your router. Yeah.
you'd unplug your router. Well, and then I've known a lot of kids that back on Xbox when I was in D1, they would have the switches and they would just hardwire a switch through their controller cable.
Yep. I remember that.
And well, not their control, their Wi-Fi cable, but with this thing, they can literally drag down the speed where it breaks the game. And it's been pretty awful. Like I've been in the sundial, and like certain parts of the game won't work. Like there's been like 4 or 5 times I've gone in the sundial, and it won't start at the sundial. Like the whole thing's broken. And then there's been other times where we've been in the sundial in one of the 2 or 3 different runs that you do or encounters, and
Yeah.
it won't start the next encounter. And literally it breaks the game to a point where that guy finally has to leave the game who's breaking it. And then sometimes it'll start up. I've had twice now in the sundial where the sundial won't go to the next thing. It's just like stuck in a loop,
Wow.
and no one can do anything. We're all killing ourselves. We're all trying to do whatever.
That's ridiculous.
Usually until the net limiter guy does it, and then it's worse if they have a couple of friends and they just break the game. But I think Bungie needs to do something about it. I mean, they really need to put their foot down and get like, I mean, what's the other game where they banned some people? The guy was like crying about it. Shit. I think he was using an aimbot or a cheater in what's the popular battle.
Was it Fortnite or was it
Fortnite? It was Fortnite. And
Yeah,
I think Bungie needs to do that. They need to take.
They need to have a team, because right now they just have a bunch of people that sit there and like, okay, let's look at all these reports. Let's look at all these notifications we're getting about all these people getting reported. And obviously, you can report people as much times as you want. Eventually they might get banned, but because the game is free, they can just make a new account, come back, play the next day, set up their aimbot or set up their hacking, whatever that is, net limiter, and they can just do it again. They can just keep doing it. There's nothing stopping them from keep doing the same things. And that's what's the problem.
The studio did announce that they banned a number of D2 players who tried to use aimbots on October 3rd. They came out and they issued a wave of bans. But they've been doing this since D1. They ban a few people. They scare a few people. But then they don't really hold to it. And like we were talking about, it's not something they permanently do. Like they banned some people back in March of 2018. February 21st, the cheater got banned, but they don't make it wholesale. But I think with this net limiter, it's just gotten out of control because it's so easy to do it, and it's so easy to fool the game. Yeah. And from my understanding, from what people have told me that are doing the cheating, because there always ends up, if you're in the raid at the boss, there's a way to cheat using net limiter to fool the game by slowing it down far enough that you can just keep putting motes in. And so you don't have to keep doing the whole thing. In fact, with net limiter, you don't have to have anybody but the cheater go over and get the to get the motes, if I recall rightly. He just goes over there and gets them, and then he just keeps slamming them into the mote thing until it's filled. But the thing I hate most about the cheating thing is it teaches people not to master the game. It teaches people that, we'll just cheat. I mean, Bungie puts a lot of cheese in their games already, so there's usually different ways to cut corners. But those are natural exploits. Those are ones Bungie put in there so that you can maybe, there's the ball cheat in Pit of Heresy. That's kind of there so that if you're trying to do the solo flawless thing, you have an easier way to do it. But I think something needs to be done. I don't know. But, Bungie has to balance this. If they ban a bunch of people, then, there goes the
negative trafficking to their game.
Yeah. So there goes people playing your game. And, there goes your sales in the toilet or whatever. I don't think they could ban enough. I don't know if I've run into enough people that are using it, but I've run into more cheaters that are openly, especially during the GOS raid, that are saying, "Hey, man, we want to cheat," and I'm seeing more and more
Yeah.
people that are just like, "Yeah, I want to do that too. I just want to get this raid over with." And you're just like, "Don't you want to learn how to do it the right way? Because if you don't learn how to fish, you'll never fish again." But
Yeah, because the funny thing is when Bungie patches all this shit eventually, people are gonna be like, well, how do you do it? How do we do
yeah,
the raid legit now? We don't know how to do it. All
yeah,
we've known is the cheese, or all we've known is how to cheat our way through everything, and they haven't exactly got to experience the full force and the full experience of the game. Like,
yeah. That happened in Kalos. With the Kalos, when you got to the boss in Leviathan, there was a way to cheat it so the ads wouldn't come into the room. And a lot of people did it, and I got why Bungie did it. I was kind of upset about it at the time because I'm like, all they're doing is teaching people really bad fucking habits or not being able to stay alive in the thing. And yeah, as soon as they took that cheat away, holy crap, people could not do that raid. And you just get in the room and
it's
they're like,
sad.
"Oh, I can't. I don't know. It's gone all the time." And it's like, just maybe there's certain things that people should be able to exploit, but there's some that just, I think, it cripples the player base. That's what really Bungie needs to really start considering, is how bad this is going on. Oh, I started saying this earlier. From what some people were telling me in the GOS raid, the way the net limiter works, it doesn't necessarily break the game, so it doesn't send the signals to Bungie that someone's turning on and off their Wi-Fi where they're breaking the game. It just gears it down, so it fools Bungie into thinking that, well, that person just has a really crappy internet connection, or they had a
Yeah.
hiccup in their connection. So it fools them. And so unless people report it, and I'm not sure if Bungie ever, I don't even know what Bungie knows.
I don't know if they care enough to
Yeah,
even do anything
yeah.
about it.
But evidently it fools the game enough to where it's breaking the game, and Bungie doesn't know. They just figure you had a crappy internet connection, and none of the people in the raid are going to report you because you just, you just skilled them through.
I mean, they just want to get the raid done. At the end of the day, it's just loot for them. It's not about how long it
Uh,
takes. It's just about the loot.
but yeah, it's breaking the game. I mean, we've seen a lot of videos on it. What do you think Bungie should do?
Honestly, Bungie needs to crack down. They need to have some sort of way to recognize the problem, recognize exactly what's going on, and they need to come up with some sort of anti-cheat. Because the different games that have made those anti-cheats, those games have fully resolved that problem. And I've been watching other people talk about that, and other streamers talk about that, and they say they need to get an anti-cheat, because without an anti-cheat, they're just going to keep doing it. They're just going to keep coming back. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. It's just
Yeah,
going to be the same repetitive process. And so without that, it's just a never-ending cycle of cheaters and hackers.
I'm seeing right now on Bungie.net, you can find, just by Googling, you can find a page that they have called Help Destiny Account Restrictions and Banning Policies. And it talks about some of the different policies they have in banning. It's kind of funny to read. Why was I banned? Why was I restricted? Um, so I guess they have two different types of bans and restrictions that they take and do. You can be restricted or you can be banned. Um, Frequent quitting or removal, you can actually get banned for that. Wow. I mean, you think that would
Yeah,
happen all the time in Crucible? It doesn't. Third party PC applications are one way. Um,
that's
so if you are using, they even give you a list of feature compatibility applications you can take and use. I've never really used an aimbot. But what else do they have here to capture while playing? It's okay to use OBS and NVIDIA Shadow Play. So they don't have any problems with that sort of game capture. Overlays. They have kind of some interesting stuff here on the details of what's allowed to be cheatable and what's not. Tomorrow there's going to be on the roll. There's going to be a background maintenance, no downtime expected. So they've announced that. So that'll be kind of interesting. It looks like they're doing update 2.7.1 when they
oh
do it.
yeah.
And let's see, does it say anything about it? Destiny background maintenance, players observe issues. They're going to do, they're doing two. They're doing one tomorrow for their servers, it looks like, and there's no downtime. And then on Tuesday, they're doing the drop of the 2.7.1.
Yep.
And we're going to bring it offline. Great. That means we'll have it down for half a day.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not.
And looks like they're gonna fix a bunch of crap they need to do. Bungie help Twitter, Bungie companion sign in functionality, interrupting downloads. What is that about? Error code cat during maintenance. Oh, that's during the maintenance windows. That should be interesting. Well, hopefully they don't break the game. They finally got around to fixing
Hopefully.
the uplist. So I don't know, man. What do you think? You think Bungie will finally do something, or does the community have to have more outcry?
Honestly, the community can keep crying as much as they want because it's been going on. I mean, ever since D1, this is not like it's not new. There's nothing new happening here. It's just the same thing. It's just new, different ways to hack and different ways to cheat. And Bungie's, had this problem ever since D1's come out. There's been cheaters and hackers in D1 that would, use, lag switching and console and booting people off and getting their IP address and kicking them offline.
Yeah, DDoS.
Buying their routers. That was. I had to deal with that so many times in D1. That was so annoying. And now they've just cycled. They just steamrolled into this new thing that just. Oh, now everyone gets stacked now, because people are, crying about it and doing all this stuff and putting out so much publicity about it. Now everybody knows about it, but Bungie's not doing anything to take it down. So now everyone can do it. And now they're just they're just asking people like, hey, come do this anti-cheat. Look at this, all this easy stuff. And it really aggravates me. It just ruins the game for everyone else.
Yeah, that's why I was reluctant to name the net limiter website and the thing they're using.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I bet everyone knows about it at this point because people type it and people are asking no net limiter users in the Discord LFG chats because they don't want people that use the net limiter for the raid or for anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it just breaks the experience. Fortunately, a lot of people still. I mean, usually when I'm in the GOS raid, if someone comes in and says they want to cheat it, then people get pissed and they either yell at them, quit, or throw them out. And it's funny how they always come in and they're like, you guys want to do the cheese? And it's kind of
they're like, no, we're going to do it legit. And then they say, well, I don't know how to do that. And you're like, well,
and they're like,
we're doing the cheat.
And then you'll hear net limiter and they're like, oh, okay, you're cheating. You're not exploiting the game with an exploit given by Bungie. I think Bungie needs to do something about it. I think they got to take some heads off, like Fortnite did. They got to take out some of the bigger cheaters.
Oh yeah. There was on Fortnite actually. There was someone that actually he had his own platform, his whole YouTube channel. He's a streamer.
Oh yeah.
His name was Jarvis, and he in one of his videos, he was doing a video just to use. He just wanted to see how it would be to use the cheat. And Fortnite saw him doing that, and they permanently banned him from playing Fortnite
for life.
For life. And there was a whole bunch of media and there was a whole bunch of drama about it. And honestly, I saw a few videos from some of his counterparts and friends, and I was just, I mean, at the same time, I understand where he's coming from because he was just doing it for a video and he was just seeing how it was. I mean, he's not a cheater. He doesn't cheat, outside of that. He doesn't cheat normally.
Yeah.
But, you shouldn't be cheating, period. I think that's just that thing at the end of the day. I think if you cheat, even if you do it, if you don't care, it's gonna come back to bite you in the butt. It really will.
Well, you just don't learn to be good, and like you say, when they take the cheat away, then you can't play the game, and so all it does is teach you to not be able to play the game appropriately, and then then when they do take it away, it's kind of like for a while there, like a good example is when people are using Telesto as a cheat in some different places.
Oh yeah.
and then they nerfed it, and then people are like, I can't play this game anymore.
They're like, I have to actually shoot ads now. Oh
What?
man,
People shoot
I don't
back?
want.
People shoot back at me now? I can't dodge them or
Yeah.
glitch them out. Yeah. So I'm hoping Destiny stands up, takes a few heads off, puts their foot down. I don't know how they can sense net limiter, because net limiter doesn't come across the net limiter. I don't know how aimbot works specifically. I kind of do, but I guess they can sense that the app is working through the software. But I don't know if net limiter can be sensed through the software,
Yeah. Well,
because it's like a VPN basically,
yeah, pretty
a
much.
little bit.
The thing with aimbot though is with most aimbot applications is there's a toggle, so they can toggle it on whenever they want to. So if they're in the middle of a game and they want to act like they're playing legit, maybe they'll turn it on to get a few snipes just to clutch up a little round, and then they'll turn it back off to make it seem like they're playing legit, and they'll miss a few shots here and there. So they don't think that they're using aimbot, but when in reality, those times when they've actually sniped you, they've been using aimbots, and so you really have no idea when.
I'm sure the signal's coming through the game, because it sounds like it's one of those things that the signal's going to come through the game. Evidently, the thing with net limiters, it just makes it seem like you have just a really crappy internet connection. We know a few of those people.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, that's kind of our thoughts on the state of the game. We'll probably do some more on Tuesday when the new update drops. We'll talk about what some of the different things are in the update, some of the patch notes, some of the different, I don't know, tweaks or adjustments they made, nerfs, buffs, all that sort of good stuff. So be sure to tune in for that. Subscribe to the show. You can go to chrisvossgaming.com, and then you can follow Jeff Slays at
jeffslays.com or Jeff Slays Instagram, YouTube. Go to YouTube channel. Link will be in the description.
Link will be in the description, guys. So there you go, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We certainly appreciate it. And you guys stay frosty out there on Destiny 2.
Peace.
Right on.